Welcome back to the stream here on CBS News Chicago as we continue our coverage of the funeral procession and the upcoming service for fallen Chicago firefighter Jermaine Pelt.
We want to go to Chris Habermill live above this procession. Chris, we understand that the 9-mile journey is almost over and they're approaching the church. Is that correct?
Indeed. It is time to say goodbye to firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt and the engine bearing his body and the engine that he served on bearing the floral tributes are now on final approach just about into the parking lot at House of Hope down off of 114th and near the Bishop Ford. So we're still on 115th here, just have a little jog to get into the actual parking area shortly. They will be slowing the speed on both of those rigs as they come in there to a walking pace to match those of the escort party as they get in close to where the casket will be received and then brought off of the engine and taken into the church for the funeral service. The Academy engine is serving as the pallbearing rig here. They out in front you see engine 75 carrying the floral tributes, and then back behind it you will see the casket draped in the City of Chicago flag, the colors of our great city, on top of the casket of Jermaine Pelt. So here comes the Academy engine right now, the special black and purple bunting of mourning stretched across underneath the ladder racks on the flanks of the engine and across the front. And in the front of the engine up against the radiator opening is the turnout gear and helmet of Jermaine Pelt. That protective gear that he wore, his bunker pants, his bunker coat, and his helmet affixed to the front of the engine. So that will remain all the way through the service and then will stay in place all the way to the cemetery afterwards. His body will be received once again after the funeral onto the Academy engine, now passing what appears to be the Academy ladder right there, raised ladders from the City of Chicago. This is what we call straight sticks here. They don't have a basket on the end, so those are straight ladder trucks. And at the top, at the very tip of those two extended ladders, the colors, the flag of the United States. Rendering honors, rendering colors all the way through from the funeral home to here, and then from here, and people that will be lining the procession route. Once they leave the funeral home, once the services are concluded, they'll be using part of the Bishop Ford, I-57, 119th, Kedzie, and on down to the cemetery near 120th and Kedzie and Blue Island. But we're now on the approach road coming into the parking area now. So very soon the casket will be received by his brother and sister firefighters, those he served with at engine 75, which is housed not too terribly far from here at 119th and Morgan. That also houses engine 115, tower ladder 24, ambulance 76, ambulance 5, the EMS field officer, and the deputy district chief. So the 22nd Battalion here rendering honors with all the battalions in the City of Chicago, all the districts in the City of Chicago, the entire command staff from the Chicago Fire Department, the command staff from the Chicago Police Department. And it should be noted too that the Chicago Police Department has just gone above and beyond to provide support in every way. Their command staff coming to the funerals and the visitations en masse. Not a member absent. Everyone showing up in dress uniform to pay their respects and render honors to both Lieutenant John Torek yesterday and now firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt today. House of Hope, we're seeing members coming to attention, rendering honors with the hand salute as the engine 75 carrying the floral tributes approaches. Going to slow and confer with one of the coordinating officers here on procession, where to come in, where to park, and you can see that now we are getting in very closely now to where the uniform members are lined up, and the reception party will meet the back of the Academy engine and receive the casket of firefighter EMT Pelt. So now we're getting both of those rigs in close. They will park in front of where the casket will be received and taken in. We've got command staff and escort vehicles from the Chicago Fire Department that are close in to the engines that were used here. And now you can see that we have the engine now turning into the final approach, getting into the roadway that leads up. We have an extended aerial tower down below there. You can see that tower ladder stretched way out. And there's also a candidate class of candidate. I heard Murrow talking about the candidates that are here from the Chicago Fire Academy, the men and women that aspire to be just like Jermaine Pelt. That is a high honor to make it into the academy class, and they work them hard. Believe me, by the time they get them out on the street, they are ready to fight fires. They are ready to help out those in need who may be down on their worst day. The Chicago Fire Department, the message is, and you see it emblazoned on all the rigs, we are there when you need us. And they come calling. They come running when there's danger, when there is a fire, when there's a car crash, when you're down on your worst day, maybe it's a medical emergency or what have you. When you raise the white flag and you're in over your head and you call 911 and you need help, the men and women of the Chicago Fire Department respond. They come running and they run and they come into danger and they do their level best to make it better. The casket of firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt on the back of the Academy engine now, oh so slowly pulling up to the receiving door at House of Hope. The engine that he served on for so long, engine 75, carrying the flowers in advance. Companies lined up, the candidates are lined up, and you can see this is a very large facility here. This is a very large church. It has a lot of room for parking. It has a lot of room for the uniformed members to form up. The white caps indicating the officers, command staff from not just the Chicago Fire Department. They're the ones who are closest in, but fanning out in all directions. Fire departments from across the region, the nation, and the world, their representatives are here to see firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt taken to his final rest. And the next step, the next phase right now is to receive his body here at the church. And as the Academy engine pulls up to get in line for the pallbearers to move into position, it will very slowly, under escort, come to a stop. The pallbearing party will then rise up onto the tailboard, get up into the hose bed where normally hoses are carried. The casket is on a raised platform. So soon the officer that is in charge of the party that will be the pallbearers, his fellow brother and sister firefighters that he served with, being called forward to take their brother home, making the sharp right turn, coming up to the tailboard in step. Notice as the first firefighters rise on the tailboard and then the tail steps to get up into the hose bed, the rest of the party remains at attention. First firefighters now climbing up into the hose bed. They will go forward and take their positions. The next set of firefighters will come up, the next set after that, until all of the pallbearers are up in the hose bed. Then at once the command to turn and face the casket. When they face the casket, then they will lower their hands down to take a hold of the side rails underneath the flag. We're going to be coming around here. We've got a little bit of the building here, which is getting into the way. We're in the process of just trying to make a wide turn around here to be respectful. Helicopters do make noise, so we're giving a wide telephoto view of this. So bear with us as we come around the backside of the House of Hope. We don't want to leave too much of a noise footprint over the top of what's going on. There are vocal orders which are being given to those pallbearers right now. To the uniformed members that are down there, there are orders on how to proceed, and they need to be heard. So we are a step back, and you're watching this from a telephoto lens on the nose of Chopper 2 as we come around and we see that all members, all uniform members, as long as that casket is there. And there are all of the flags of the 24 divisions of the Chicago Fire Department raised, those white and red with braid trimmed flags. Those are all the battalions of the Chicago Fire Department are raised in honor. The color guard, you can see that the flag's there, the flag of our nation, the state, the Chicago Fire Department, the city of Chicago. They are dipped slightly, and now we see the one engine set of pallbearers transferring the casket to the pallbearers that are on the ground over the tailboard. And believe me, that is very tough to do, to raise your arms over your head and accept the weight of your brother firefighter in the casket. But they readily do that. They train for this. They hope this day never comes, but they are in the process now of bringing their brother home. And no matter the burden, no matter the weight, whether physical or mental, it is to be borne with pride, honor, and dignity. And as you can hear the bagpipes now surging in the background, bringing firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt from the Academy Fire Engine in the presence of his company, his battalion, and the rest of the Chicago Fire Department gathered en masse to bid him farewell. He is on the final journey as his casket is being turned toward the open receiving door of the House of Hope Church. The candidate class standing proud. You see them in the foreground underneath the raised aerial ladder. Now the casket will be walked in under guard from the firefighters that he served with so many years. Their hearts broken, their cadence slow, bringing him into the House of Hope so everyone can say goodbye. You will hear words of tribute, you will hear hymns, you will hear songs, you will hear the normal order of procession to say goodbye to Firefighter Pelt. We will be here in Chopper 2 once the funeral service is over to witness his final journey to burial in Blue Island this morning. So while the casket is brought inside, we will back off of Chopper 2 and prepare for the next phase, the next procession, the next journey to say goodbye to firefighter EMT Jermaine Pelt. We miss you, we love you, and we will see you again soon. Brother, we will take it from here. I'm Chris Habermill, CBS 2 News.
Chris Habermill from Chopper 2, thank you for those words, for helping walk us through a really heavy, heavy day for our city. Thank you.
And it's tough for us not to get emotional. I mean, we think about this. We live and work in this city where they serve. And to hear those words, and you read the poem from Jermaine Pelt's mother and father that is in the program that will be passed out here shortly at the House of Hope. That funeral service set to begin in about 45 minutes at 11 a.m. A heavy day, a heavy couple of days. This is the day after the funeral for Chicago Fire Lieutenant John Torek. A heavy week, couple of weeks after they were both died on back-to-back days, battling separate fires. Jermaine Pelt, a fire in West Pullman last Tuesday. The very next day, losing John Torek on the Gold Coast. And you see the Chicago Fire Department coming together with that solemn salute as his casket was lowered from that engine, that Fire Academy engine, to one set of pallbearers to another, now taken into the House of Hope for that funeral.
Our thoughts and prayers are with every firefighter command staff that we see here, the cadets, the class coming after him. Our thoughts are with them and his family today. We will see you at 11 for continuing coverage.